हेलो एवरीवन। आज हम डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं अटॉर्नी जनरल ऑफ इंडिया। आज हम यूनियन एजुकेटिव पहले के ये फोर्थ विंग होते हैं। यूनियन एजुकेटिव कंप्राइजेस द प्रेसिडेंट, द वाइस प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया एंड देन द पीएम एंड द काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर एंड द फोर्थ team is the attorney general of India. So today I am going to discuss about the attorney general of India, about his qualification, his power and duty, and from for what purpose he has been appointed. So basically, Attorney General of India is the Indian government's chief legal advisor, and he is the primary lawyer in the Supreme Court of India. The Attorney General of for India is the Indian government's chief legal advisor and is primarily lawyer in the Supreme Court of India. Attorney General of India can be said to be the advocate from the government side. He is appointed by the President of India on advice of Union Cabinet under Article 76(1) of the Constitution and holds office during the pleasure of the government. And if we're talking about his qualification, then his qualifications are to be like that. He must be a person qualified to be appointed as a judge of the Supreme Court. And what are the requirements for the judge of the Supreme Court? He must have been judge of some high court for 5 years, or an advocate of some high court for more than 10 years. This is the basic qualification required, and there are some other persons also can be appointed as like an eminent jurist in the opinion of the president of the country. And the one and the last but not least, the most important qualification, that the person who want to be a judge of the attorney general of this country, then he must or she must have the citizenship of this country. This is basically about the qualification and about the position of the Attorney General of India. Basically, Attorney General of India is the lawyer for the central government, and he represents the central government in the Supreme Court, and as well as all other places where the government appoint him. And he is appointed by the President of India and under Article 76(1). And you can say that he is the lawyer from the government side. And what are his duties? Regarding duty, power and duties and the function of the Attorney General of India are of this kind. Attorney General is necessary for giving advice to the Government of India in legal matters referred to him. At any situation when the Government of India requires any kind of legal assistance, legal help, then the Attorney General of India provides the suggestion to the government. He also performs other legal duties assigned to him by the president. If in any other duties apart from the advice, president provide him certain assistance, then he or she has to provide that assistance and that function also. The Attorney General of India must appear on behalf of the government of India in all cases. There is no any choice. In all cases, he has to appear in the case on behalf of the government of India. He also represents the government of India. The Attorney General has the right of audience in all courts in India, as well as the right to participate in the proceeding of the Parliament, though not to vote. It means the Attorney General of India has a power to part of all court. He can sit, he can listen all the argument, all the discussion, all the things going in the any court within the territory of India, and as well as he can also watch and present in the Parliament to watch the proceeding. Though yes, it is true that the Attorney General of India have no power to cast his vote. The Attorney General of India has to appear in all suits, appeals, and other proceedings in the Supreme Court in which the government of India is concerned, or any other reference made by the President to the Supreme Court under Article 143 of the Constitution. So this is about his power. Now, there are some political backgrounds also on the basis of Attorney General law. Regarding that, it has become a tradition that Attorney General resigns when a new government is formed. It's not a rule, it's not a law, only become a tradition. And then every time when a new government formed, the Attorney General resigns, and the new government who formed will elect then a new Attorney General of India. The Attorney General is selected by the government and acts as its advocate, and hence he is not a neutral person. So we cannot say that the person is a neutral, because every time when the government change, the new attorney general appointed, then there must be a political hassleness arise in the appointment and in the functions of the attorney general of India. So it is really impossible, and it is really a very contradictory to say that the person is neutral person, because if the government appoint him, there might be some chances of the that attorney general have some kind of a political interest in any particular government, any particular party. There might be a chance. We cannot say that there is a rule, there is a law. Regarding political politicization of the attorney general of India, I also like to mention here that it is a constitutional authority, and his or her opinions are subject to the public scrutiny. On several occasions, however, the opinions pursued by the Attorney General of India on several occasions, however, the opinions pursued by the Attorney General of India appear to be have extremely polarized. Yes, I told you that it is really very much contradictory to say that the Attorney General is a neutral person, and because he is appointed by the government, and every time the government change, he is appointed, then there might be a chance that and he represents the government, then there is a chance, there is a confusion, that there is a possibility that his decision, his argument, his submissions was extremely politicized by, and maybe affected by the any political background or any political influence. There are some interesting facts which I really want to mention here, that unlike the Attorney General of the United States, as I told that in India, the Attorney General of India can sit in the Parliament, he can watch the proceedings, he can take part in the proceedings, but he has no right to cast his vote. He has no any voting right. But if we're talking about the Attorney General of in other countries like United States, America, the there the Attorney General of United States has a power to cast his vote, and he is a member of the Parliament. He is the member. Also, the AG is not a government servant, and all on one more thing there is really want to be mentioned here, that those functions, he is not a government employee. He is not a government employee and not debarred from private legal practice. The person, the Attorney General of India, can also do his own practice. No government can debar him from doing such a, yes, but those functions are performed by the law minister of India. Those functions must be performed by the law minister. He is not an executive post, he is not holding any executive authority. The executive power is in the hand of law minister of India. He can only represent the government in the Supreme Court, as well as in other court where the Indian government, or whether where the central government is a party, and he can do his own practice. There is no any debar and then restrictions on that. There are some relevant facts also here to mention, that the Attorney General can accept briefs but cannot appear against the government. Yes, in the first slide we mentioned, I explained that the Attorney General of India is a government's lawyer, is a government's advocate, and he has also right to practice the private. He can also take his own cases, and no government can debar him. But at the same time, he cannot appear against the government. It means in any matter where the union government, where the central government is in opposite party, then the Attorney General of India cannot take that case and cannot appear against the government. It means he is in the duty bound that he has to appear only in favor of the government of India. Though he can do private practice, he can take his another cases. Another thing is here, he cannot defend an accused in the criminal proceeding and accept the directorship of a company without the permission of a. There is also on a duty bound, there is also on the restrictions on the Attorney General of India, that he cannot defend any person who is accused in criminal proceeding. It means he cannot take any criminal case, and also at the same time, though he is not holding any executive post in executive authority, still he cannot take accept any directorship of any company without the permission of the India. Once the government allow him, he can be a director of any country, he can hold in shares and whatever the thing in that particular country. There is a team who helped the Attorney General of India. The Attorney General is associated by a solicitor and four additional Solicitor General. The Attorney General is to be consulted only in legal matters of the legal importance and only after the Ministry of Law has been consulted. There is a team with four additional Solicitor General who assists Attorney General of India. Is consulted only in the legal matter and importantly the Ministry of Law has consulted. He assists in the legal matter and all other references to the Attorney General are made by the Law Ministry. So they all are the part and they all have to work together. This is all about. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.